Hello and a warm welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on my 1986 Vauxhall Cavalier. We're just going to be replacing the number plates in today's video. As you can see, they are looking a bit, particularly the front one, it's starting to look a bit aged, to the point that the MOT tester is saying it's probably time that we replace it. So I've got some new ones made up which match the font and have the little logos. These were the original logos to the car. So I had some made up, front and rear. The rear one, unfortunately, they can only do in black and white for some reason. I'm not too sure why, but that's what they said. These weren't very expensive. If I can remember rightly, they were about £16, I think, from a company called Retro Plates. They have an Instagram page which I'll try and remember to link in the description below, and I was able to remake these plates exactly to these ones just using a photo, believe it or not, and they actually got it absolutely dead on. So yeah, really happy with that. I am going to be marking these out, but I'm not going to be using the original holes. Let's get this number plate off and I'll show you why. So that's the number plate off. As you can see, where this was actually screwed, it was just screwed into the bumper directly. And what's supposed to be there is like these little special speed clips. You can use ordinary speed clips, but these are the proper ones that Vauxhall used. I don't know if other makes use them or not. These were quite difficult to find. I couldn't give you a name or a part number or anything like that for these, unfortunately. I just happened to come across these at a auto jumble, and I was able to get two, which I was quite fortunate about. But this is what Vauxhall use, and these simply just slot into here like this. As I say, a normal speed clip can be used. It would just perform the same. I'm just a bit picky where things are concerned. You know, the screws I'm going to use, I'm not going to use the original screws because, well, quite frank, they're terrible. One is one I use, which was this one. I think it's stainless steel because it hasn't actually rusted. Someone's used a wood screw. To be fair, they've done the job. They've been on there since I've had the car, and I've had the car a good 7 or 8 years. What I am going to use is these coarse threaded domed screws, Posi Drive. These are very similar to what's used on my Mark III. In actual fact, I think this is what Vauxhall used, but I can't be certain, but that's what the Mark III Cavalier has got. So I'm going to attempt to try and get these number plates absolutely right, because I want them in the middle like so. So first of all, I'm going to measure the distance between these points, try and get them on centre if I can, or just go from one edge to the other. As long as you do opposite edges, it should be fine. It's the distance we're actually after. Let's try and go for the centre. We should get a bit of leeway there, hopefully. So that's about 270mm roughly, give or take. Yeah, 268 maybe. We'll go 268. I think that looks a bit more accurate than the 270 there. Right, so first thing I'm going to try and do is find the centre of this number plate. So let's do this way first. That's 52 centimetres or 520mm. Now divide that by 2, and I'm going to need my calculator for that, I think. Right, so half of that is 260. So 260 is there. And that's our reference point for our centre for in between the two ends. Now we do up and down here, that's 111, which is 55. So let's go here, I'll mark out our 55, which is there. I'm using the best pen in the world, as you can see. So we know our number plate holes are 268 apart. Divide that by 2 is 134 millimeters apart. So now we need to mark off 134. 134, which is about there. I'll do this left-handed. It's one of our marks. I'm going to use a bit of tape, I think. Right. That should be 134. Yeah, close enough. Right, because I don't want the number plate to actually sit tight at the top there, I do actually want to give it a little bit of room. So we just need to, I want it to kind of sit a bit like that. So let's measure that bit at the top there. What's that, about 5 mil? If we go for a 5 mil gap, that looks pretty good. So measuring from the top of the bumper there to roughly the centre of that hole is 45 millimeters. So if we take the 5 off that, obviously that's 4 mil, 40 mil I should say. So if we now measure 40 mil from the top, we should be able to create our other side of the cross. Okay, so 40 mil from the top. So that's looking like it's going to be about there, which looks quite high up, to be honest, but then I suppose, yeah, it is right. Should have used a better pen than this, really. I was hoping to use some masking tape, but unfortunately, stupidly, I forgot to bring any down with me. At least I picked it up, but I never actually put it in the car, which is a silly thing to do. I'm not actually at home doing this video. So I'm just lining up my tape measure there with the edge of the tape there, what I marked off earlier. Oh. And hopefully mark where I need to actually drill. This pen is useless. I'm using a 4.8mm drill bit here. I've got a little bit of wood underneath here, just to give us some, just to prevent any breakthrough. So yeah, let's get that drilled, shall we? before I try this out for size, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a countersink on those holes there. Probably unnecessary with the type of screws. In actual fact, yeah, totally pointless on the screws that I'm using. So I won't be countersinking them. I thought that might have been a good idea, but I don't think it will be in this case. Let's go and see if this lines up. Moment of truth, people. This is live on camera. So much so, I should have probably used 5mm holes, but let's get that tape off the back first. Right, another screw. Looks like they might fit. How was that? That doesn't look too bad at all, does it? Almost looks professional. Nice and tight. Better than what it was before. Bit of a cleaner look to the old one. You can see what I mean with the differences of the colouring. I mean, if they was able to do that colouring nearly 40 years ago, surely they can do it today. I don't know why they was able to do it. A bit annoying, really. Anyway, let's get this number plate off. Again, as you can see here, they've used the holes in this plastic trim panel here, and really what's supposed to happen is it looks like there's something already there. Someone's put some filler or something in there, but there's some plastic things which I've already bought. So just behind this panel here, there's some plastic little things that screw into. I'll get you the part number later on for these. These are still available off of eBay. It's just a square little nub. I assume that in the rear lamp panel here, there's a square bit that simply clips into. Having a look in that hole there, it looks like that might already be in place, and I'm hoping the same is for that one. Hopefully you can get a better view of it in there. I'll say that's the same thing. Might get away with just screwing the number plate straight into those. We'll have to do some measuring up first though. So I've cleared out what looks like seam sealant from the other side, and you can just about see there that the black little screw retainer thingy is actually inside there. Unfortunately though, the screws I've bought down for this project are too short, so I've just been and had a look and found some longer ones, not the ones that I intend to use long term, because the heads on the other ones are very marginally slightly bigger. But the important thing is they are long enough to go through into where I need them to go. They are slightly different screws, but not that you would see that anyway. Right, I'm going to get measuring up and drill some holes. doesn't that look a lot better? So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Hope it was clear what I've done. I'm not the best at measuring and all the rest of it, but surprisingly, amazingly, these come out pretty straight. I think I wanted to keep roughly a 5mm gap from the top there, which I've done. That looks about spot on, surprisingly, because I wanted a little bit of black plastic showing on the bottom here. It would have been better if I kept, it's not completely straight, is it? Oh well, who's going to notice? Not you, obviously. You're going to forget what I just said there. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in another video.